Okay, so this is a Meepo board conversion kit. I'm going from the 1.0, which I have over there, to the 1.5. The 1.5 conversion kit, I got the Sanyo battery. It's the upgraded battery that allows for 17 miles of range. And so I decided I was going to make this video because I haven't seen much for other content on how to do it. To start, as you can see, the board already comes pre-assembled with the pads and the wiring already through the board. One thing I didn't notice is we're going to have to put the screws through the grip tape. Some other things you notice is the new Meepo board 1.5 has a concave board rather than flat. That's what a lot of people complained about with the first generation. To start, I grabbed a 9mm and a ratchet, and I'm going to start working on the battery first. Another thing to know is that you're going to have to use a Phillips head screwdriver, because if you start untwisting the bolts, the other side starts twisting along with it. Alright, so I got each bolt off, so this should just be able to come right off, just like that. And then there is the old battery that I had. Alright, so the next step is just disconnect the two wires connecting to the plugs and take it out. Some things that I noticed is the battery is a little bit bigger, but it's mostly the same size. Also looking at the labels, you can see it's about twice the capacity on the new battery that I've got. The owner of Meepo Boards, Kieran, said that it's a tight fit for this, but it does in fact make it. Alright, so the next step I did was prepping the little cage for the battery. So since it's a little bit bigger, Meepo formed the battery along with these little foam composites along the sides. And since it's a little bit bigger, that does not work. So what I had to do is take all of the foam off the side. There's still a little bit left, but it still works. And so you have to insert it like this, and then you really have to push down and make sure it fits in, because it's really snug. It's not the easiest thing to do. Alright, so next part I'm going to work on is the ESC assembly and the rear hub with the motors on. And also another thing is, I cannot completely say it's true, but if you have I got the Scion edition, which is the regular larger battery, and so if you got the regular edition with the same size battery system, I'm sure you wouldn't have to take the foam composites out. It's only when you get the upgraded extended range battery. Alright, so I just got that done. So these two just pop off pretty easily. One thing I did notice is there is this adhesive right here, and that does stick to the deck of the board. So when you try to pull it off, it adds some resistance. All you have to do is just pull a little bit harder. One thing that I probably does know is if you move it to your new board, you're going to lose the water resistance that it somewhat had before. Now that we're inside, all you have to do is disconnect this, and then you're good to go to move it to the other board. Lastly, we just have this truck and wheel set left, and then we'll be able to move everything over to the new board. Alright, so that was the last part of the assembly. Just had to pull that off, and you're done with the old board. Now we just bring the new board over, and I'm going to go in reverse order on what I just did. One thing for the holes is what I did is I took a screwdriver, or a screw that was from it, and I just put it into the hole going in the reverse direction, and then I'll just start pounding it, and then it'll send it through the hole, making a hole in the grip tape. And also another thing I would recommend is using a screwdriver. This makes the whole process take a lot faster. So I just got that part done. It was pretty easy. All I had to do was screw this in. Next, I'm going to work on the the battery and the back motors. Okay, so one thing I did wrong is I put the truck on the wrong side. I actually need to go this front truck without the battery needs to go over on this side with the larger pad and the arrow at the front. That's where the truck without the motor goes, so just make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. Okay, now so all you have to do is connect the battery to the connector and then screw it on. you're good to go for the front side of the board. So I got that done. One thing that I noted was it was a little hard with the oversized upgraded battery to get everything all set in the first place. So once you get it, you can tighten it up and it works well. I did notice there was a gap before I tightened it because of the concave board. They had to fit everything in a lot tighter, but it still is all fully working. So now all that's left is to connect the motherboard main system to the motors and then to the deck. One thing you need to make sure is that right here you keep those seals tight so you can at least keep somewhat of your water resistance, even though I'm sure a lot of it is gone after this mod is complete. So this side was a lot more difficult than the other. So basically what I had to do is I had to get a clamp to get the bolt to be able to go onto the screw. I think what they did is they added a lot thicker foam composite piece, which made it a lot harder for them to seal it down. So I had to get the clamp, squeeze it down in order to get the bolt on. Now I can put the bolt on, I can tighten it up and get all the rest of the two on there. And then other than that, I just gotta tighten these up and then I'm almost done. All right, so it's done. Turns on just fine. You won't have to sync up your new ASC if you did the same package that I did. A couple things I noticed right away is the concave board does feel a lot better. A lot of the complaints were that you felt like you're driving on a piece of board or a piece of pipe for the last board, and this one's a lot better. Definitely feels a lot more snug. It is a little bit more bendy, not considerably. I can put this right here so you can see the difference. So you can see there's gaps on both sides, a little bit right there. And overall, it's just a lot better board. I'll have a performance update later. Right now, it's too cold to be riding my board. And lastly, there's a little test in showing how it still does work. You didn't have any other setup. You just plug it back in and go. All you did was just swap the battery. And another thing that I did notice is the extra 3 inches actually does seem a lot better. To sum it up, pretty much it took about an hour to do the entire thing. You need the tools and then a screw gun if you want to make the entire process go a little bit faster. Like I said, I like the new board, I like the new battery. I'll have the performance test later. And pretty much that's it. Thank you for watching.